Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Ritikhe and this is Ritikhe Updates. In this video, we are going to see about the best hijack ever done. Yes, you probably guessed it, the mystery of D.B Cooper. So, let's get into the video. So, on the 24th November 1971, a guy who was properly dressed as a businessman with a coat suit, pant, tie, and was neatly and properly dressed comes to the Portland airport and books a ticket to Seattle. He carries a suitcase with him and books a ticket with a $20 bill in name of Dan Cooper. At that time, in 1970s time, there weren't any identity checks. Then, like in modern times, we check the suitcase and everything in the airport. In 1971, they didn't check anything like that. They give you the ticket, you pay the bill, and you get to the airport and you go in. Like that, it happened in 1970s. Dan Cooper booked the ticket and went to the flight. The flight is 305. It was the name of the flight. And this guy goes to the last seat and sits there. To be exact, in the seat 18E. He sits there. There is a total of 36 passengers in that flight, with some crew in that flight and 36 other passengers. Little after takeoff, at approximately 3 p.m., the guy writes something and gives it to a flight attendant there. The flight attendant thought that it was a compliment, or she thought that it was this guy is flirting her, so she didn't look at it and put it on her pocket. And Dan Cooper said, "Miss, you better look at it because I have a bomb." And after, in a shock, she pulled out the paper out of her pocket and reads it. And on that paper it was written, "I have a bomb. Sit beside me and listen to me carefully." So that flight attendant comes and sits beside Dan Cooper, but she didn't actually believe it. She was only 50% sure that this was true. So she asked to Dan Cooper for a proof or something like that. And Dan Cooper opened the suitcase he came with, the black one, and inside it were like dynamite sticks, then some wires and timer, something like that. Basically, it looked like a bomb. So the flight attendant believed in him and went to the captain, like the pilot, and said this stuff to him. Dan Cooper didn't stop her to not say to the pilot, because he wanted this flight attendant to say to the pilot. So she went and gave the letter that Dan Cooper gave it to her, and the pilot ask him what he want. Maybe by our government we can give him, or else he will explode our flight and our passengers will die. So the flight attendant came back to Dan Cooper and asked what he wanted. He said, "I wanted $200,000 and 4 parachutes, 2 back parachutes and 2 safety front parachutes." And he also said that he wanted a fuel truck in the airport so he can fill the flight and take off another time. So normally this flight takes only 30 minutes to go to Portland to Seattle, but Dan Cooper said that you have to hover in the sky. We have to wait until the government is done with what I asked. So I don't know how many hours this went, but it took a long time to the flight to land. After a police with the parachute, money and everything, with no weapons, came to the flight and give it to Dan Cooper or someone in the flight. And Dan Cooper left the 36 passenger and some crew member of the flight down. But he kept 4 persons, 2 pilot, 1 flight attendant and 1 flight engineer in the flight. After refueling, he said to take off another time, and he said that the destination is Mexico. But the pilot said that there isn't lots of fuel to fly to Seattle to Mexico. So he said that we have to land in some airport before Mexico, refuel, and go back to Mexico. That was the plan. So it was approximately 8:21. So basically now they are flying to Portland to another airport, and they say that Dan Cooper took a sunglass, a black sunglass. In the second takeoff, he put a black sunglass on his face. I will put a photo somewhere on the screen, you can see it. Basically that become an identity to Dan Cooper now. So they are going to Portland to another airport before Mexico, and they found that a door was open in that flight. They felt like a pressure eating on the plane. They go and see what was happening, and they saw that Dan Cooper wasn't on the flight anymore. He had jumped, and this happened like approximately 8:20 p.m. So he had jumped out of the flight. Nobody saw this because Dan Cooper said to all the crew to stay on the cockpit on the flight and not come out of it. So after he jumped with $200,000, and the main thing he asked is that he wanted the $200,000 in $20 bill. I don't know what this was up to, but he asked in $20 bill. And the police noted the serial number of the cash of the $20 bill. So maybe in the future it can help them to catch this man. But the main clue that Dan Cooper left on the flight is that I said that he wore a tie, right? He took it off and put it on the seat and jumped. This was the main clue he left, and there was part of DNA in that tie. So they used the DNA to find who's the real Dan Cooper, but nobody's DNA sample matched this guy's DNA. And that's the last time they see Dan Cooper, and they never saw him back. So in 1980, 9 years after this thing happened, a little kid with his family went to a beach to do picnic, something like that, to basically chill. So he went and he played on the sand like children do. He was building like castles on the sand, something like that. He was digging the sand and found a bag. He asked his father to come and see what was inside, and that father takes the bag out and opens it, and there were some $20 bill. So he informed the police, and the police came to investigate what was that $20 bill up to, and found that it was the $20 bills from Dan Cooper's thing. They know this because, as I said, they know the serial number of the notes of the money, and that serial number and the serial number of this matched. So they conclude that this was Dan Cooper's money. And the theory is that when he jumped out of the flight, maybe one bag of his money fell down to the ground and later buried. This is a theory but not confirmed. Until 2016 the investigation has went, but they stopped in 2016 because they concluded that maybe this guy became older and died because of the age. So they closed the case, and this case remains unsolved now. And some descriptions about this man from the flight attendant. She said that this guy was approximately 6 foot. He was a white male. Then he didn't have an accent, but he was rich in vocabulary, and he was mid-40s. After so much year, they concluded that this guy might have died because he became older, and he died because of his age. So they closed the case there. And this is the end of this mystery of D.B Cooper. Wait, where this name D.B Cooper came? That's probably a question to you guys. This came because when they wrote on the newspaper like this guy has hijacked a plane, something like that, by a spelling mistake they wrote D.B Cooper, and when that was the first time seen by the public, they got the name D.B Cooper on their head. And even after, if they wrote Dan Cooper on the newspaper, the name D.B Cooper stuck on the head of the people, so the name of this guy remained D.B Cooper for the entire case. This is the end of the case, guys. If you like this video, don't forget to like, and if you like my content, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss out another video like this. Goodbye, guys.